Hi students. Okay, so in the first part of this chapter, in the second part of the chapter, we did the First World War. Today we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the Second World War. Okay, so it's a very small topic. Okay, and the objective today, students will be able to understand what happened during World War II. Okay, World War I हमने last time किया, World War II कर रहे हैं. बहुत छोटा सा पार्ट है, इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू टेक एनी टाइम, इट्स वेरी ईजी. टुडे वी आर ओनली अंडरस्टैंडिंग थोड़ा सा अबाउट वर्ल्ड वॉर. वी आर नॉट गेटिंग इनटू द डिटेल्स ऑफ वर्ल्ड वॉर. These are topics that we're just touching before we get into we deep dive into the next war that happened. Okay, no, this war was fought between 1939 to 1949. Now World War I was fought between 1914 to 1918. Now what we remember is at the end of the war there was a League of Nations that was formed. ये हमें याद है, लास्ट टाइम हमने पढ़ा था कि लीग ऑफ नेशंस वर फॉर्म्ड, जिनका काम क्या था कि अगर कोई भी कंट्रीज ऐसा हो कि वो लोग झगड़ रहे हो या वॉर पे जा सकते हैं तो उनको रोकने का काम, उनके साथ नेगोशिएट करने का काम, उनके साथ बात करने का काम लीग ऑफ नेशंस का काम था. हाउएवर लीग ऑफ नेशंस फेल्ड, वो कर नहीं पाए, एंड सो 1939 में सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर हैड हैपेंड. The war proved to be worse than World War I. Okay, this war was worse than World War I. It led to more destruction in the world. Now, why this happened was because we already know कि World War I के बाद countries were already facing a lot of economic crisis, right? We know that countries around the world, whether I was a part of the World War I or not, I had still gone through an economic crisis. So now what happened was second World War I के बाद countries already इतने economic crisis में थे. Countries didn't have money, countries were struggling to develop, and World War II के बाद क्या हुआ, this put them in a worse situation already. Now you have to understand कि when there is a war, it takes decades or even years or even centuries to come out of the war. Economically it takes years, like 50-100 years for a country to come out of that war and stabilize, become economically stable and develop the country. Okay, abhi World War I finished in 1918, which is I think about 21 years from World War II. 20 साल में countries already इतने ज़्यादा डिस्ट्रक्शन फेस कर रहे थे कि मतलब World War II became like worse. हम वैसे ही नहीं उठ पा रहे अभी. we have the economic crisis of a second world war. Okay, now in this world war are Axis powers. Now what is Axis powers? Nations that fought in World War II against the allied powers. Now these were our two set of countries that were fighting against each other. Axis powers were Germany, Japan and Italy. Who were they fighting against? They were fighting against Britain, France, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, India, Soviet Union, China and America. Okay, now these three countries were fighting against all of these countries. Now what happened was America, okay, played a really big role in the Second World War. उन्होंने क्या किया? They manufactured weapons. Now obviously in 20 years weapons भी बहुत आगे बढ़ गए. Weapons were a lot more advanced. So now in the Second World War what happened was America, they started manufacturing more and more weapons, and that put them in a worse situation. And what they did was to stop the war, उन्होंने क्या किया, जापान में, ठीक है, there are these two countries called Hiroshima and Nagasaki. ठीक है, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, these are very important countries. This is a very important part. Okay, Hiroshima and Nagasaki के बारे में if anyone talks, everyone in the world knows what they're talking about. अमेरिका ने क्या किया, वॉर ख़त्म करने के लिए उन्होंने जाके न्यूक्लियर वेपन्स ये दो सिटीज़ में फेंक दिए. सॉरी आई सेड कंट्रीज, देयर आर टू सिटीज़ इन जापान. इन्होंने क्या किया, ये दोनों सिटी में जाके अमेरिका ने वेपन्स फेंक दिए, न्यूक्लियर वेपन्स फेंक दिए, बॉम्ब्स फेंक दिए ऑन 6th of अगस्त, हिरोशिमा में 6 अगस्त 1945 एंड नागासाकी में 9 अगस्त 1945 को उन्होंने बॉम्ब्स फेंक दिया एंड ये दोनों सिटीज़ ख़त्म हो गए कम्प्लीटली. इन्होंने जैसे द वे दे थ्रू बॉम्ब्स एट these cities completely finished. There was nothing left of these cities. These cities till date, ये 1945 की बात है, till date they are still trying to come out of the crisis that they saw because of this, because of World War II. They are still struggling. Okay. Second World War ended with the defeat of Germany in Europe. Now, सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर में क्या हुआ, जर्मनी को यूरोप में हराया. ठीक है, यूरोप में दे वो प्रॉबली फाइटिंग इन यूरोप, तो उन्होंने जर्मनी को यूरोप में हटाया एंड जापान को एशिया में. ठीक है, जर्मनी इज़ अ पार्ट ऑफ यूरोप, उनको वहाँ पे हरा दिया. जापान इज़ अ पार्ट ऑफ एशिया. ठीक है, तो उनको वहाँ पे हरा दिया. And among the many events that took place in the world after the Second World War was the beginning of the Cold War. Now, Cold War is one of the most important wars. It is as important as the World War. Unfortunately, in our books, we didn't look at these world wars in detail. What I'm going to do is just for fun, okay, like for little extra information, I found some interesting videos of the world war that we can watch. I'm going to send the links to it soon, and I want you guys to watch it just to know more about it. If you want to know more about what happened during the world wars, they're very, very interesting videos, so I'm going to send that to you. You can know more about the world wars through those videos. What we're going to study next is the Cold War. Okay, Cold War we're going to study a little bit in detail, so it's going to take like maybe 1 or 2 classes to actually study this, because I don't want to give you too much information or too many topics I don't want to do together since we're not physically together. Okay, last thing you're going to do is questions. 4 questions again you're going to complete and send it to me by 7:30 p.m.